Hey Vivi, doesn't Hello Kitty helmets and 40-degree temperatures and beaches in southern Taiwan remind you of something? Doesn't it remind you of how you can be rude to your friends and family in China? Let's go talk about that. Ooh boy, that is a hot ass.
Imagine I use my bare skin.
That sucks. Is that how hemorrhoids come about? It's from hot seats. You know how you can tell someone's not Chinese? Is if they're Asian, but they're tan, like on purpose. You know what I mean? Is that rude? Well, it doesn't matter, because that's what we're talking about today. So Vivi, as I take you on this little beautiful trip, hey, you can look at us talk in the mirror. Would you agree, for the most part, that in general, if I'm your really good friend, right? Which I think I'm pretty tight with you, right? If I'm your friend, I can kind of be a little rude to you. You know, like in my friends, I'm not gonna show up to their house and be like, it's so good to see you, good afternoon, you know? They'll be like, what the hell is wrong with you? But in China, it's almost an insult if I'm with a friend, right? And I said, hey, could you please pass me the ketchup? In America, I think it would be completely normal for me to say that. Maybe with certain friends, they would think I was a little bit weird, right? But for the most part, you can just use that casually. Whereas in China, it's almost an insult. And there's a funny cartoon here where China is actually communicating with Russia. And the Russian dude has to kind of give in and be mean to the Chinese dude, because that is more of a sign of friendship. Because if you ask too politely for something to someone you know, then you're kind of insinuating that you don't know them well enough to trust that they're going to give that to you.
Of course you're gonna feel weird, but the thing is, like, if you've always been polite, and I mean nowadays people can also accepting it, especially like Asian kids, like they can adopt everything.
Right. So we're gonna go into some more specific details here, because I just found it looks to be like a fishing port where they pull in fish and then you kind of pick what you want to eat at the restaurant, which is awesome. What do you say?
Yeah, go. You look so localized now.
And no, I'm getting there.
The Hello Kitty.
I'm getting there.
Like the crappy scooter and with the woman.
I just need some beetle nut.
Yeah.
Wait, why is being a woman local? I don't get it. I had the right idea. Drove all the way here because we heard about this place, but it is in fact a place where you go fishing. Unfortunately, those fish just become yours afterwards. It's not a restaurant. Let's get back on the scoop. Let's get going. Let's get something to eat. I hear they got these weird duck noodles. And by the way, in this video, I'm gonna trigger Vivi. Like a lot of times when I talk about these little nuances, these cultural nuances, she can get trigged, even though she's like really open-minded for being a Chinese girl. So I'm gonna try to not bait her too much. It's gonna be hard. Oh, I got hit by a butterfly. It's like covered in mustard, but it was still moving. Its guts were moving. It's better than outside.
Down there still have fans.
No, it's so bad down there. So basically, Vivi, what I was saying earlier was that it's okay to be, you can spit on other people in China, you can swear at other people, it's totally fine. You guys have no manners because you're culturalist dogs, right?
If you're really close to someone.
I thought you were gonna freak out on me. I was just joking. We told everyone that we were gonna go eat seafood straight from the sea. We told them we were gonna eat duck noodles. We are now eating steamed buns.
Hate you. Well, we just passed by the steamed bun. It's like bake it right away, just fresh.
Get over here. Sit next to me. We're a couple. God's sake.
But the fan is better here.
How dare you? I'm the one that needs a fan. I'm not a fan of you right now. As I was saying, manners are not as important in China with people you know, right? And I think that's like the same everywhere, of course. But I wanted to talk to people about some of those things that you should probably know or might deal with if you go to China, because it is a different system over there in terms of how you deal with people, right? So, for example, we were just talking about this, right? I want one of these baozi, right? I wouldn't be like, oh, 可不可以请给我一个包子好吗? Why am I talking like that?
Because you're in Taiwan.
Okay,
Thinking
well.
all the guys.
Give me this frickin' baozi.
No. Okay, here's the thing. You want vegetarian baozi or meat baozi?
Why did you order vegetarian baozi? Who am I? You know what I love on a hot day that's like 100 degrees is a hot steaming baozi.
Well, this is one of the so they just come out the thing and then they sell it right away.
It does look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, talking about manners. So, can you talk me through this a little bit as a Chinese person? Why are people so rude to like service staff? Like there's no politeness, right? For example, if I go to 7-Eleven in America and I walk up to the counter, I say, hi, how you doing? How was your day? Thank you very much, blah, blah, blah. In China, no one says please and thank you to a freaking gas station attendant. You know what I mean? Or someone, even a waitress at a restaurant. Why is that?
In Asia, still is a society tiers level kind of society. So they do have the social index there. So usually waitress and waiter.
So you're saying there's a class system?
Yeah. I mean, like, and plus, like, of course you need to respect the people who work, but meanwhile, you know, I don't know.
This is just a meal, by the way. This is massive, and this one's definitely
very huge. And then
wow, it smells amazing. Smell that. It's pickled vegetables. There's a class-based system, so people judge people on a lower pay scale than them. The more money you make, the more respect you get. So,
and plus, they said like the customer is the god, so you better do what
that
satisfy
attitude,
us.
that's amazing. But that is really spicy. But it tastes really good. It tastes like spicy sour pickles. That's amazing. I love that. That's my style. So what I wanted to address here is that you'll see quotes from people that go to China just to visit. We'll come back, and they'll really get the impression that Chinese people were friendly and hospitable, but to each other are like really, really awful. So it seems like a country without manners, and that's just not the case, right? Whoa, that's amazing. That's like a freaking huge meatball. Whoa, it's dripping juice. You know what's gross is that looked like the butterfly guts on my leg. So you go to someone's house, right? Like let's say you're going to meet your host family. Let's say you're an exchange student, or you're going to meet someone in China. Is there anything in particular you need to be careful about?
If you go to visit somebody's house, if you are not like BFF, gonna go visit all the time, or if you're gonna visit like some urgent, like people you just know not that long ago, or the people you think you should respect, you definitely need to bring some gift over there. Either fruit, either like depends on what the host like, you know. So
like in America, I mean, I think it's customary if you wanted to bring a gift, it'd be nice, but it might look a little strange if you showed up with like a box of fruit. I remember I went to a friend's house in Inner Mongolia, and you told me to buy him milk. You got a big, huge thing of milk. And we gave him milk. I thought that, I know, it's just weird to most foreigners, right? But for them it was useful and it was a good night.
You need to ask them, like, what do you need to bring? If you guys are close enough.
Most of the time they'll say, don't bring anything.
No, that's a basic manner.
Right.
If you actually not bring it, and then they will feel upset.
Oh no, for sure. They'll say they don't need it though. They'll be like, no, but you have to do it.
I remember my parents even like when at the very beginning you get to know them the first time you visit.
Right.
You didn't know you need to bring stuff, and then like my dad didn't think you were the bad one. He think I am the bad one by not telling you to bring stuff.
This one's really thin. Should we crack this one open? This is the weirdest video I've ever shot. What is that? It's like,
cheese.
What? Cheese? Oh, it's cheese.
Cheese and what's it called? And sausage.
Oh my god.
Bread, I guess.
You thought I was gonna feed you, didn't you? That's spectacular. I would eat that for breakfast every day. That's good. It's like a reverse pizza with no sauce. It makes absolutely no sense. Another massive thing is that mealtime in China is super, super important. And there's a certain place you sit at the table. The most important person sits at the head of the table. It's just how it is. If it's a circle table, they point towards the door, right? Usually it deals with age, can also be money status and the importance of the person. In America, or in the West, you're never gonna have to deal with that, right? When the dishes come out to being served, and this is super important. It sounds stupid, like one of those like, oh, it's a traditional society. No. This is like a really big deal. It's manners. This is where the real manners comes into play. There may be no manners with strangers.
Doesn't mean we have manner right now because we're eating and then talking.
Well, I'm more important than you. You didn't let me eat first. Actually, you did. You were polite.
I'm older than you.
You are. Isn't that sad? Why'd you give me that crap?
Red bean.
You. Who wants to eat a bun full of beans? When they put down the dishes, the most important person has to try the dish first, right? So you can't dig in there. If they say, go ahead, eat, you gotta wait, even if they tell you to. It's not a trap, you just have to be polite. Manners are not for strangers in China, but manners are very much for people you know, particularly elders and people important. If you really want to make a good impression, keep that in mind. And keep in mind that it's not necessarily like someone's out to get you just because people are not nice to each other in the streets. It's just not an evil society, it's just how things work.
People's mindset is if you're not my business, you really just not my business.
Right. So they just let it go. Anyway, I'm gonna get tucked into these Baozas. If you guys wanna see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and go over to patreon.com/Laowinners if you wanna see the stuff that you can't really see most of the time on the channel, can't really talk about. And you can also support the channel there as well. We've got merch down below, Laowinners t-shirts, hoodies, cups, all that kind of good stuff. And we are gonna continue shooting because we have a lot of videos to make, don't we? Where are we gonna go after this? I'm not hungry. Let's go, we'll go explore, okay? Thank you so much, Laowinners. I'll catch you
Next one.